This is Total Telecom TV at the Mobile World Congress, where I'm joined by Perry Offer, the CEO of Dialog Group. Perry, you've got a way of helping these operators generate billions of dollars of revenue that at the moment is sitting, I think, on their doorstep, their doormats, and they're just not getting to it.
Correct, Brian. What you can see behind me is a load of razzmatazz and money being spent to try and capture additional revenues. But what Dialog has got is a proposition in the space of A2P SMS messaging, where messages that are currently sent to the operators in a way that they can't trace and therefore don't charge money for, we have the technology that enables them to identify those messages and capture those within their systems such that they can then charge for them. Dialog's been in the market, A2P SMS market, for over 20 years, but this is a new development that we've brought to market recently because we feel that the whole value proposition that A2P SMS represents for enterprises, companies like Dialog, and also the operators themselves, is being debased by poor practice. So what we're doing is taking directly to the operators a set of software and associated services that are going to help them capture those revenues and generate significant returns for themselves in very short periods of time for very, very small and incremental investment, sometimes even no investment, because where it's appropriate, we're happy to give them the service on a revenue share basis.
Why have they not sort of addressed this situation already? It seems a no-brainer to find this revenue.
Yeah, I think, well, in a lot of cases, to be fair, it's simply because they may not even be aware that the problem exists. Often what we quite often we find a healthy degree of scepticism about the idea that they are carrying this traffic already, and therefore it is simply sitting there to be monetised. So it's the classic early adopter situation in a new market where only probably 10% of the audience is even got their mind in gear to the fact that the problem exists. And so Dialog's pushing into this space with an education piece for those that are even remotely inclined to listen, that says, here's the problem, here's the solution, by the way, it's quick, and the revenues go up very, very quickly. So we're getting traction for it, done a number of deals now with some significant players, and I think it's just a question of time before the kind of domino effect you see of one operator having done it, particularly in a particular country, where, if one is done it, for example, we did one in Singapore recently, one of the competitors to that operator in Singapore was on the phone the following week because they suddenly realised that their competitor now has a significant amount of revenue every month that they can spend on consumer marketing that their competitors can't. So, it's just a question of time, but we've taken our position in, we feel this is the right thing to do, and we're going to keep beating the drum until everyone listens.
Yeah, I saw a report that I think this market's going to be worth 58 billion by 2018. If I'm an operator, just tell me, what are the steps I have to go through to adopt this system?
Oh, it's quite straightforward. Get in touch with us. We'll take you through the process. You have to commit to undertaking certain actions on your network based on information supplied by our software traffic analysis tool, which is a product called Sentinel. And then you're off and running. And as long as you maintain that commitment to take the information from Sentinel, change the coding set or rule set on the network to make sure that the illegitimate traffic is being filtered out, that's it. If you commit to doing that daily, you will capture up to 90% of the potential revenues that are available to you inside a month. Okay, if you're not able to have the resources to do it that frequently, it can take a couple of months. But what happens is, once other aggregators who are determined to beat your network realise that you are committed to filtering, eventually they just give up the game because they know it's going to cost them more time and effort than the return that they can get from it. So it's fairly quick. In terms of ROI, it's compelling. And so, we really would encourage operators to look at this as a serious way in which they can capture revenues that they're currently losing in P2P to people like the OTT players.
Perry, thanks very much for talking to us.
Ryan, you're welcome.
So, mobile operators, the revenue is out there.